NFL
Nipple.
Week 5, absolutely
Sinkle.
electric slate we have coming up. Week 4
Buzz.
gave us a lot to talk about.
Holy shit.
And 2 of those teams are mentioned in this first game we're talking about right here. Texans at Ravens. 2 teams that were heavy favorites to win their divisions preseason. Now both 1-3. Ravens are 3.5-point home favorites, which is basically a little more than the typical just home field advantage. They're saying these 2 teams are basically a coin flip at this point in the year. Total's 43.5. Ryan, I want to start with you because I know you were very high on both these teams, actually.
Very high.
Are you still high on these teams?
Yeah, still very high on both these teams. I think the Ravens are still a lock to make the playoffs. They're still one of the best teams on the field when they're playing. I'm gonna have to just be wrong every single week. It's in one of those teams you're just gonna have to be wrong about. They have one of the best quarterbacks in football. They have one of the best running backs in football. They have one of the best defenses, offensive lines, whatever you want to piece it. I think they have it. This game though is just tough because Houston, on the other hand, has none of what I just said. Their offensive line might be one of the worst I've ever seen.
Why is this spread 3.5?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused why it's 3.5 because I think the Ravens should win, but Texans love to keep close games. Whenever they lose, even like the Rams, it's like last second fumble in the goal and last second bullshit. Like they don't get blown out very often. Weird game. I'm gonna take the Ravens only because they're at home. There's really no piece of information more I can give you besides they're at home. I think these teams are identical. If the Texans win outright, they win outright. I would love that. It'd be the greatest day ever. But I'm taking the Ravens on the spread because they're at home.
Yeah. Well, it looked like Lamar gave up last week. He went out with a hamstring injury, but wasn't really nursing a hamstring injury on the sidelines. There was a lot of chatter online about what actually happened on that sideline. I hate the Ravens with a passion, so nothing gives me more joy than the Steelers. My Steelers absolutely look like the best team in the NFL, and then the Ravens looking like the worst team in the NFL. One thing I'll say about the Texans is they have played 3 playoff teams and lost to 3 playoff teams in the Rams, the Bucs, and the Jags. I know their biggest loss was against the Jags, but the Jags look like they might be the second best team in the AFC right now. So I'm not going to hold that against them too much. The Ravens, on the other hand, they got absolutely handled last week. The Chiefs, who have not been scoring points, just open field
can do whatever they
on the Ravens.
Travis Kelce looks like a pro.
anyone can go and score 40 points against the Ravens team. So I don't bet overs and unders, but if I was, you are hammering this over. Absolutely with everything you have, because the Texans are going to score. This is Nico Collins' breakout game. This is Jaden Higgins' breakout game. Whoever the hell is playing running back for the most snaps, maybe Woody Marks, you never know, hammer their overs. But I'm going Ravens to cover the spread because I also think the Ravens are going to be in this game every step of the way. There's no world the Ravens go 1-4, I think, and make the playoffs. Even when looking at the rest of their schedule, it's not the easiest in the world. It's not the hardest in the world, but like you don't come back from 1-4 in the NFL and make the playoffs. It just doesn't happen. And I think the Texans might already be out of this, so I'm just going to take Ravens -3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also important to note that the Ravens have 3 of their losses to playoff caliber teams in the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs.
They got blown out by the Chiefs, though.
They did get blown out by the Chiefs, but to be fair, the Chiefs also have one of the best head coaches in college football, which the Texans do not.
What team does he play? What does he coach for? Andy Reid, what college team does he coach for?
What college team is Andy Reid coaching?
Yeah, what
He
does
said
he
that
coach
one of
for?
the best.
He said he has the best coach in college football.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, I'm sorry. In the NFL. Yeah, I definitely didn't even catch myself saying that. But Andy Reid is definitely one of those, like, strategical masterminds.
Sark-esque.
No, Sark wishes. But, you know, going against a team that's high-powered like the Ravens and just kind of, you know, when you have the level of experience to win multiple Super Bowls and take a team to kind of defy all odds, you kind of just know how to scheme against difficult opponents, which is, I think, exactly what we saw with the Chiefs last week. The Ravens still have a lot of talent on this team, and I don't think that we've seen, you know, any kind of gear shifting from the Texans. I think Woody Marks might have a good game because, you know, we saw Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions just run all over the Ravens, but maybe that's the only highlight I can see for the Texans here, but I have Ravens easy.
Oh, is this a consensus pick, Mario?
It is 100% a consensus.
There you have it. Boom, 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 boom,
Nice.
boom.
Electricity.
Bang.
Consensus.
Bang,
I'm going to keep it
consensus.
short and simple, but yeah, this game, I know Ryan mentioned Texans don't usually get blown out, which is pretty much true. But this, I would not be surprised if Ravens come out and just handle business here because they have to. They have no other choice.
They have to.
If they go down to and are 1-4, this team, just like with their mental framework and everything, the psychology of this
Done.
team, they're done.
Yeah.
They're not like they don't have a Joe Burrow. They're down 1-4, come back, make it to a Super Bowl. They don't have that type of leadership. So, yeah, they need to win this game. I think they do. Lamar has a big game.
And we don't miss consensus picks, by the way, so it's guaranteed the Ravens win. So
Yeah.
hammer Ravens to cover the spread.
God, I want to so bad.
Next game, Bucks at Seahawks. Seahawks -3, total 44.5. Mario, I'm going back to you on this one.
Yeah.
Two of the better teams seemingly in the NFC.
Yeah. Everyone was all over the Eagles saying Bucks would get blown out, and I don't know. I've Bucks have had the same defense since like 2018, 2019, and it's a good defense. I mean, they don't have all of the same pass rushers, but that secondary is still really good. They're really experienced. Sam Darnold's good. I just think Bucks win this outright. So I'm going to take Bucks +3. Seahawks are a lot better than people thought. I will give them credit. Sam Darnold
wins games.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a winner.
He's also just like a
talented.
lot more confident.
Yeah.
And just like playing like he, what was
good.
he, the 3rd overall pick?
Something like that. I think
So-
two.
I think he was 3rd.
2 or 3.
Regardless, he's playing.
But he's playing
very
like how he was
playing
drafted.
very well.
He's not on the Jets or Panthers anymore, So
Yeah, 3rd.
I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think this game comes down to a field goal. So even if Bucks lose, I think then then you're pushing. So I think Bucks are always in this. Baker in the 4th quarter is, I think, statistically the best quarterback in the NFL so far through all these weeks. Like, I mean, he just does not like his efficiency is insane.
That comeback was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Seahawks, just in general as an organization, are fantastic at being terrible. I think a good example of that is, last week they should have easily destroyed the Cardinals and just blown out, walked away with that game, yet they somehow let the Cardinals climb back and almost make it like a comeback story-esque type
Shout out
deal.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, shout out Marvin
Rivalry
Harrison.
game,
Get your get back, whatever. I don't really care. But, anyways, I do think the Bucks have had a much more difficult and story testing type beginning of their season versus the Seahawks, who you're beating teams like the Aints, you're beating teams like the Cardinals. You have a good win against the Steelers. I'm not gonna lie. That was. I think the
bullshit
Steelers are a great team,
Caleb
and so
Johnson.
that is a pretty professional-esque win. But then you get held to 13 points by the 49ers. Like, this team is just genuinely, I don't think they're that good. I think it helps a lot that Charbonnet is back, and they're going to have a 1-2 punch with K9 and Charbonnet. But in general, Buccaneers have a much better, much more productive offense. Their defense is good enough to hold this Seattle team to maybe, like, at most 17 points at maximum. And so Bucks +3 and the
Lowest
under
point total of the
45
year.
and a half.
It
That's
makes me want to flip.
No, the Bucks are going to hold the team to the lowest points they've held it all year. Here it
Yeah,
comes.
well,
Yeah.
one thing I'm with Mike on is that the Bucks, they're going to be in the game. Like, no matter what, they're going to be in the game. The Bucks are in every game. I don't care if they're playing the worst team or the best team. I mean, like, let's not pretend the Bucks wins are fantastic. It's Falcons, Texans, Jets. Those are like
Like I said, there was one combined
three
win last
non
week.
three
Now there's
non-playoff
two.
teams. And then they were in there with the Eagles, but I do think they stay in there. I actually don't think they win the game, but I think they stay within the 3. So that's my pick. I'm going Bucks plus the 3, but I think everyone's going to be on Bucks money line, which would be a mistake because I think the books double win on this one where the favorite doesn't cover, but the money line for the underdog doesn't hit either. So super, super close game, 1 or 2 point game-winning field goal for the Seahawks. Bucks cover.
Yeah, this is getting. I'm gonna die on this, like, agenda I have that the Bucks are frauds. I really believe it. I mean, last week, say what you want that they stayed in the game. It was 2 80-yard broken play touchdowns. One was the most miracle fitting in throw. That wasn't even like a good throw. It was just lucky that it hit a spot where Emeka caught it in between 2 defenders.
Dog.
I mean,
it was a dot.
It was a dot.
sure, it was a die. I just think
You
it
can't
was
float
luck.
that. You gotta have an arm.
It was whatever.
that.
Regardless, I think it was a murder. And Eagles do the thing where, like, they're the new, like, quote unquote Chiefs, where, like, they're just gonna win. They don't really care how. When it gets scary, they'll
AJ
just win.
Brown's gonna lose his mind.
Well, I mean, don't.
Jalen Hurts needs to complete at least one pass in the second half.
Yeah.
No, I'm
that
saying
was
that's
crazy.
that's
was
what, we're gonna start saying stuff about the Eagles like nitpicking, but they're just gonna win. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be ugly. We're not gonna like it. They're gonna win. So again, the Bucks coming back, never really being in this game for a second, maybe at the end of the game. I like the Seahawks a lot here. I think they win by like a touchdown at home too. No one's even brought up the fact that playing in Seattle, I think, is gonna be very hard to do. And Seattle's kind of got that feeling of like a new young team. They had traded away their quarterback. A lot of people like. They got a new quarterback, got rid of their wide receiver one, kept the one they drafted. K9's really good. I think they're riding with this team. I think this team's really good. And I
Top
think,
5 receiver in the NFL too.
yeah, I think they beat.
Jason.
I think they beat the Bucks pretty easily here. So
Wow.
Seahawks.
Last game, Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Jaguars. Chiefs 3-point road favorites, totals 45.5. Ryan, I want to go back to you with this one. The Chiefs coming off a huge win, people saying they got their mojo back. The Jaguars team sneakily having the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Most turnovers, 13 turnovers through 4 games. I think they're like second or first in fantasy points for defense.
Shout out the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the
Contributing
49ers.
to 5.
But it was
Yeah,
3 straight
Niners are-
games, 3
well, yeah,
picks.
3.
Do you think there's any world? I know you're a Chiefs guy. Is there any world the Jags cover the spread?
I mean, there's no world because I'm gonna tell you why. They played the Panthers, murdered them. Terrible team. Played the Bengals, lost to them with Jake Browning playing an entire. I thought 3 quarters, maybe it was only a half. Jake Browning threw 3 picks, and they still lost to the Bengals in that game. They beat the Texans in a close game where I think Texans choked. It was a tie game, and Texans fumbled the ball on the 5-yard line. Jags resilience, good defense. Who knows how good the Texans will be? And then again, 49ers.
They were undefeated on the road.
Cardinals were undefeated 2 weeks ago. Like everyone is supposed to be good in this league. I understand it's NFL. It's tough.
It's only been 4 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think the Jags are that good. Have they beaten a top 7 team in my opinion? No. Maybe Niners people think of their 10 spot. Who the hell knows? I don't think so. The Chiefs found something last week. Mahomes looks like he heard everything from the whole offseason. He looks unbelievable in my opinion. My biggest problem, he's making a lot of mistakes when he was playing with this new team. He's made 0 mistakes, especially last week. He's continued to do so against this Jacksonville team. Chiefs defense is too good. Trevor Lawrence has not looked good. He has not looked good. Not looked good at all. I think he had 120 passing yards last week.
It's a big game.
I mean, but that's all he needed because
Talking about the wrong
49ers.
Clemson player there.
No, ETN, amazing. But I'm saying the Chiefs are a good enough coach team and good enough defense to shut down the only thing that this team has been able to do and run the ball. So I love the Chiefs here. I think the spread's pretty easy. Maybe because it's the Chiefs it stays close, but Chiefs should win this pretty
Yeah,
simply.
this is this week's wagon of the week on Monday night. Jacksonville covers this because they win the game. You don't even need to worry about the points. Look, the Jaguars are back. All right. Liam Cohen is an absolute genius with what he does with this team. You're completely right. Trevor hasn't played well. These receivers also, first off, most drops in the league. Like Parker Washington, if he didn't return that punt for a touchdown, would be homeless this weekend.
that dude was.
Brian Thomas on the
Brian
block.
Thomas was like scared to catch a ball. They're like trying to force feed him routes now. It's like slants or like pitch him the ball. Travis Hunter actually looks like the best receiver on that team, but we don't need to have that conversation yet. No, but Travis Etienne, whatever Liam Cohen did to unlock Travis Etienne, I haven't seen him run like this since the days when I was in college. It's beautiful to watch. I think he's like top couple in the league in rushing. I know he's top 5 in fantasy now. He's having an absolutely dominant season, and they're finding creative ways to get him the ball, whether it's like end arounds, pitches, screen passes. And I think when this offense is able to move the ball like they are, they're not scoring a whole lot of touchdowns, but they're having like really long drives. Like their drive against the 49ers to win the game was like 14 play drive that took up like half the quarter. That's a type of drive that we've never seen the Jags been able to do since Trevor got on that team. And their defense somehow, I don't think it's a fluke. I know they haven't played good teams, and I totally agree with that. I actually think the 49ers aren't bad, but Brock Purdy played bad. But I think this defense actually has enough top draft picks that finally look like they're being drafted where they should. Like Trayvon Walker is playing like an absolute dog. Armstead looks like a beast. Their corners are finally playing well. So I think they're able to
Devin
turn
Lloyd.
over. Yeah, I think they're able to turn over the Chiefs a couple times, specifically because the Chiefs have no rushing offense. And I think that's going to be a really big problem. I mean, Mahomes is going to be able to do, his Mahomes thing sometimes, but I think they're going to be able to get a pick or two off Mahomes, maybe fumble the ball from Pacheco, and I think control it. So I like a low-scoring game where the Jags win by maybe like 3 points.
Yeah, I just was completely floored by the fact that this Jaguars defense took, the year by such storm. Granted, they're not playing extremely high caliber playoff-esque offenses, but 13 turnovers is 13 turnovers in the NFL, and that has to say quite a bit about who you got on the other side of the rock. I think this is going to prove to be an extremely difficult matchup for Patrick Mahomes. With that being said, I feel like even though they have Worthy back, it's still just not the same reliability that Patrick Mahomes, I think, is used to. And I think similarly, the whole Kareem Hunt and who is he playing with? Pacheco is just not really being as efficient and as effective as what they really
Rashad
want.
Smith.
Rashad
SMU.
Smith.
He actually looks.
He might end up being their RB1.
I think he looks like probably the best of the three.
Probably is.
Has he played?
Yeah.
He's gotten a couple
They started
snaps.
to put
He's a
him in
receiving back.
little.
Yeah, he's gotten
but,
a couple
They
snaps.
needed to try something.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I feel like last week was a fantastically coached game. I think they did everything right, and I just don't necessarily see if they can pick up that same amount of offensive efficiency. So I have the Jaguars defense really bringing a route here, and Jaguars +3. They're going to lose, but +3.
Whoa. Thread
Yeah.
the needle.
Can
Thread
I
the
ask a
needle.
quick question to Mike? Just
Sure.
throwing it out there.
Quick
Sure.
question.
Every time you bring up the Chiefs, you talk about their coach and how it was a really well game. Like Coach
Fantastically
Andy
coached.
Reid's one of the best college football coaches
Great
of all time.
schemer.
Yes.
Everything about Andy Reid. You have
Great
never
schemer.
mentioned the team at all. So like this week, if they
Well-
go out and beat the Jags, is it Andy Reid's scheme perfectly
Well, it's
again?
a little redundant to say that future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes is
But, like, the
a great
defense,
player. He's a great player.
The defense, Kelsey, the offensive line stepped up. Just making sure, because every single thing I hear the same exact thing. I want to make sure I'm preparing for next week if they beat the Jags. You go, Andy Reid schemed very well for this game.
Probably will though.
I was just making sure.
I think that is going to be a big component.
But that's the only thing.
But I
you
mean,
said.
coaching is a big part of every.
But you don't
football
say it.
game.
I didn't hear you
that's-
say one thing about Liam Cohen on this.
I mean, he's not one of the greatest.
I think he's doing a fantastic job this year.
I don't know.
I'm a big Liam Cohen fan.
You just only talk about. you never talk about coaches unless it's Andy Reid. So I was just throwing it out there to see if you talked about anything else on the Chiefs. But okay.
Maybe that's fair.
You're
Maybe
Liam
I'm,
Cohen.
maybe I'm holding people to a double
You
standard.
did say the Chiefs won this week, though. They're going to win.
Chiefs win, but
Jags cover.
don't cover. Yeah.
Mario?
Okay. I think Chiefs found their mojo back last week. I really do. Offense, they just needed like another experienced wide receiver just to kind of unlock everyone else. That's what Worthy did. When this team gets Rashee Rice back, I'm telling you, dude, it's gonna be a wrap. This game, I don't think will be close by the fourth quarter. I think it'll be close in the first half. Jaguars are gonna have a lot of momentum coming into this. Their defense, you have to give them credit. They shot out this season like lightning in a bottle. They're like, no one expected them to have this many takeaways, but it's like the old like football saying, like teams when they get turnovers, like they come in bunches. So like obviously they've been getting a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Say what you will about how they're getting them. McCaffrey had one where he just caught it and threw it up to them, but it still registers as an interception for them. I think they don't get any turnovers this week. And I think, going forward, they have a pretty tough schedule. They have to go like Rams, Seahawks. They play one other tough team as well. They have Colts in like 4 weeks
Talking
as
about
well.
the Chiefs.
Staff
I'm talking
might
about
be good
the
for
Jaguars.
them.
Jags.
And so like
Chargers.
all of a sudden you start racking up weeks where like maybe they're not getting turnovers. I'd like to see how this team plays in those types of games because Trevor hasn't looked good, but they're getting a lot of extra possessions. And I mean, you just give an NFL offense, 3-4 extra times on the field, they're going to have a better chance just to win the game. And they're not really winning some of these games convincingly. I know they blew out, what was it, the Panthers or something?
Yeah, it was the only
But
blowout.
that's the only blowout they've had. I don't think they hang in this game by like the fourth quarter. I think Chiefs win by like 14.
Fair enough.
Sharp.
We're split on that. Yeah, I just double checked. ETN is 20 yards off the rushing lead, and he averages more yards per carry than any running back this year. So that is how their offense is moving.
I mean, last year he was
Absolutely.
injured. This year he's fully healthy. You see what he's like when he's fully healthy.
Yeah, it's nice
he's
to
a
see him
beast.
back.
So,
But all right, let's get into it. All our picks for all the games. Last week on the cards was a
Ugh.
massive week for Ryan.
Bang, he's back.
Jumped over 50% on the year.
Back to
He
normal.
is absolutely dialed in. I had a miserable week. I was 30%, but I was over 70 for the year. So now I'm to 60.5%.
Still ahead.
We're still above 60.
We're hanging.
That was one speed bump. I'm getting back on the wagon here. Mike's still at 55% after a losing week. And Mario is floating around.
Climbing
Maybe
back.
fade Mario in NFL.
I'm back.
You are climbing.
Maybe
You're
fade
37.5.
but surely.
37.
37. Started the year at
Once we
25.
get in the 40s, I'm telling you, dude,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
Cooking with gas. Well,
Yeah.
we're starting with Ryan. Let's go ahead and tell you all our bets for the week.
All right, hoping to have 3 amazing weeks in a row here, bouncing back. Starting off, Browns plus 3.5 versus the Vikings. Absolutely love. Browns play every game close somehow. I don't understand it, but they do.
Defenses.
Yeah, defense, absurd. Miles Garrett, defense player of the year. Saints minus 1.5 versus the Giants. Think everyone's going to get way too excited about this Giants team, and some special players are going to get his first win in the NFL. Don't want to say it out loud, but
No way.
someone's going to get his first one. Ravens minus 3.5 versus the Texans because they're at home. That's the only reason why. Colts minus 6.5 versus the Raiders. Almost was my moto. I don't understand this at all. I don't understand football if Raiders win or cover this or anything. This should be a
Because Gentie's back.
21-point win. Doesn't even matter. Cardinals minus 8.5 versus the Titans. Titans are a fade team every week. You win free money betting against them. Seahawks minus 3 versus the Bucks. Already talked about it. Lock. Chargers minus 2.5 versus the Commanders. This Commanders team is so confusing. Like, bring back your players, sit your players out. Start. I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't seem right. Mariota looks kind of good, but who knows what's going to happen. Chargers should bounce back. Lions minus 9.5 versus the Bengals. Bengals playing Jake Browning. Automatic fade. Easiest bet in the world. Panthers minus 1.5 versus the Dolphins. I mean, after that Tyreek injury, I don't know. He was celebrating. I saw clapping on the
He
sideline.
literally said yes.
He was cheering. He looked like,
clapped.
I don't know.
He's out of there.
Who knows
psycho
what's going on?
about
Eagles minus 4.5 versus the Broncos. I'm going to hammer the Eagles to cover every spread this year. It's been working flawlessly. Jets plus 2.5 versus the Cowboys. Weird spot at home. Haven't won a game yet. This is their first win. Bills minus 8.5 versus the Pats. Bills should win by $1 billion. Last game of the week. Chiefs minus 3 versus the Jags. Patrick Mahomes.
All right, here we go. Ravens minus 3.5, Bucks plus 3, Jags plus 3. Next, Giants plus 1.5 at New Orleans. Look, I get the whole they're going to win their first game. They're intentionally not going to win their first game. They want the first pick in the draft. They want all the draft capital they can get. You're always fading the Saints every week. It's a winner. Colts minus 6.5 at home against the Raiders. I agree with you. I'm not surprised at the line, actually, because the Raiders have shown some sort of fight. But a 6.5 point spread in the NFL is sizable enough, I think, and the Colts get it done. Cardinals minus 8.5 at home against the Titans. I made a big mistake last week, and that's what cost me to start losing on the card on trying to overthink a lot of these games. Early in the season, I was like, hey, let me bet on the good teams, fade the bad teams. I was over 70%. Last week, I'm like, hey, let's bet on the Titans. No, Cardinals minus 8.5 at home against the Titans. Chargers minus 2.5 at home against the Commanders. I was shocked by how the Chargers played last week. I couldn't explain it at all. I know Joe Alt got hurt. They're missing both their tackles. It shouldn't matter the way Marion Hampton's running the
still had
ball and
150
Herbert's
yards.
throwing the ball. Yeah. So I think it was just a weird NFL game where like it's not like college where every week the teams just run. Chargers I think are still one of the best teams in the NFL. Similar kind of hiccup like the Packers tying the Cowboys. I think the Packers are actually good. They get back on the wagon. Same thing with the Chargers. Bills minus 8.5 at home against the Patriots. Still, I know the Patriots are scoring. I know Drake May is getting fantasy points from his rushing. It's not going to stop the Bills' offense. The Bills are going to route the Patriots. Eagles minus 4.5 at home against the Broncos. Eagles, like Ryan said, they're going to get what they have to do, not only to win, but to cover spreads. They care
have been
about
doing
covering
it.
the spreads. They cover the spread against the Rams on that field goal block, and I will be betting them every week since that. They literally scored the touchdown without having to cover the spread.
Sharp.
Something that Indiana in college football decided not to do, which is why I'll never be betting them ever again. But Eagles, I'm betting because of that. And lastly, Lions minus 9.5 at Cincinnati. This is the only one I can take off my card. For the purposes of the show, I'm saying it because we're filming early. But if the Bengals get a new quarterback, I'm going to take this off my card. I just want that on the record. If Jake Browning is the quarterback, this is the line that's staying on. But, like, we can even keep it on for stats purposes. I don't care. But for betting purposes on Sunday, if Jake Browning is a quarterback, hammer the Lions. If not, whoever else it is, don't bet this line. It's the
that.
biggest trap line.
Love it.
All right. Fair warning. This is going to be pretty much a choose your fighter situation between Ryan and I because every single spread I have is the exact opposite of
Same
Ryan's.
with Ty.
Nope. We actually, Ty and I are overlapping quite a bit.
Only have
So,
one different pick
Yeah,
than you.
same cards.
I mean, that's just not true. I don't think so.
Except for the
Anyway,
games we talked about.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So the games
Why
that
don't
we,
you get into that card, Mike?
yeah, the games that we talked about. We have Ravens -3.5, Bucks +3, and then also the Bucks, Seahawks under a 44.5, and then lastly the Jaguars +3 versus Kansas City.
Yeah, we're lined up on all those.
Exactly. And then going into the game in London, a team that has been staying in Europe doesn't have to deal with the travel and all that bullshit.
sharp.
Vikings -3.5 at Cleveland. I really think the travel is going to play a big factor here. Vikings, like I said, have been able to stay in one spot, practice, adapt to a time zone, really just get a feel for London, and I think they're going to route here. Jordan Mason, I think, is going to keep this game pretty low scoring, low churning, because obviously JJ McCarthy will get murdered by Myles Garrett. Giants +1.5 versus New Orleans. I think that this whole Jackson Dart and Cam Scaboo has really lit a fire under this organization. I don't think that there's any situation in any week ever for the rest of the year that they're ever complacent, because they want to just have a fire continuously lit under this team going into next year. I think that Jackson Dart is really trying to show that he is the new face and, get some people rallied behind him. And then lastly, but not leastly, I'm going to take the Raiders and the Colts of under 47.5.
Whoa, how many picks was that? 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense. Yes.
Mario.
All right, starting off with Michael's team,
Bang.
Rams -5.5 against
Bang.
the 49ers. I'm going to take Dolphins +1.5 against the Panthers. I have a weird theory here. No evidence really besides just a gut feel. The offense will be better with Tyreek Hill not on the team.
Sharp.
Colts -6.5 against the Raiders. Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ryan said it kind of seems easy, but
weird.
I have to take it. I'm a fish. Eagles -4.5 against the Broncos. Okay, let me tell you about this next pick. When you have a chance to bet on the best winless starting quarterback in NFL history, you have to take that chance. This is the spot where it could be broken.
Oh,
Spencer Rattler gets his first win. Saints -1.5 against the Giants. I think,
Win but no cover.
okay, maybe.
win by one.
Win by one.
That'd be
I can deal with that.
insane.
24-23.
But we're getting a win.
All right.
So I'm betting Saints -1.5. Bucks +3 against the Seahawks. Cowboys -2.5 against the Jets. Lions -9.5 against the Bengals. I think they cover this no matter who the quarterback is, unless somehow they get Lamar Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Chiefs -3 against Jags.
All right, there you have
Bang.
it. We're giving out $250 quickly. Let's go through the 3 picks. If these 3 picks hit and you subscribe and comment on the video, you're eligible to win $250. Ryan, go ahead and start real quick.
Michigan -16.5 versus Wisconsin. Absolute murder. Free money.
Texas Tech -11.5 versus Houston.
Notre Dame -20.5 against Boise State.
We were 2 for 3 last week. Let's make it 3 for 3 this week. Great video, guys. Great week in the NFL coming up. Good luck on your fantasy matchups, and stay tuned. Stay locked in with the channel. We got a lot coming your way.